Okay. Okay. So I just came out of the Don's John here, and you know my favorite thing to do when I go in the Don's John is basically to like rub my body all over the walls on the Don's John. Anyway, so I was just in the Don's John, rub my body all over. I was like, and I was like, yeah. Came out and like, look what happened to my clothes. Look at that. Like, I just like, what is that? Like, how does that even work? Like, I went in. This hoodie was black, and like I came out, and I'm like, what? What happened, yo? I don't know. It's crazy mixed up world, isn't it? Yeah, but you know, it's like those professional shows on TV say, don't recommend you do this at home, but I just went in there and just rubbed all over and just don't do it at home. Just don't do it. Just don't try this yourself. It's a professional thing. Professional thing. Okay, so check this out. So that house, my grandfather lived in that house, and it was my grandma's parents' house. The Shellhays name and my name, Nathaniel Shellhays Vizdo. Shellhays is the first owners of that house. My great grandparents, the Shellhays family, and then when my grandfather and grandmother moved in, they added an addition with a garage and a living room above it. Then later in life, my grandfather had a number of strokes and he's a wheelchair, so he put in a deck with a ramp on the back of the house, and that's that deck you see there, right there. And so then he also had a tiered garden, like right down in there. There's a tiered garden, like brick, and like he had roses and all kinds of just beautiful flowers and stuff, right? And he had like a little shrine and shit with like some kind of saint and whatever in it, and a little dome, like made out of like stone and like rocks and stuff, but up like that, and then it had the statue on the inside, and he had beautiful flowers and like boom boom, like stared up. I can't even see from here. There's no deck in there. There's no tiered garden anymore, is there? Yeah, they took it out. And so that walkway you see the stairs, that wasn't there. There was actually a driveway that went down, and you can see the cement right there coming up next to the house. That was a driveway that went all the way up here, and they would park up here in the driveway. And eventually, I think they made it you could go that way or something. But that's what that cement line is right there in the grass right down there. But so like the thing is like this too. So that then there was a garden on that side too. And actually, it was this whole cement structure. Like there was a cement structure around that garden, like a little cement walls and stuff, like the same size as that one right there with the moss on it. Yeah. Wow. It's wacky.
If he was in a wheelchair, then he needed to have a road to drive up. You know?
And so when I would visit him, you know, I used to try and visit him every summer for like as much as I could, and then when I could, you know, as I grew older and stuff, I could. But I would come and we would sit on the back porch, you know. And actually, I tried to smoke weed with him. I tried to smoke a joint with him probably in like, think about this now, probably around like man, it must have been around the mid '90s. I was like, he was in his wheelchair, you know, and we're coming out here, and I go, hey, Pap, I was like, hey, Pap, I'm gonna go smoke a joint. It's marijuana. It's medical. It's medicine. Do you want to smoke one with me? It'll be okay. You know, just chill out, man. It'll be fun, man. He's like, nah, but you go ahead. I'm like, okay. Well, he used to drink though. The man would take shots of Crown Royal and like beers, but he would like he liked other kind of drinks too. He liked Manhattans a lot. He also liked it was like a sweet and sour drink, like a sour. What's it called? I think he had some kind of sour drink he liked, and then but he would have liquor and shit, and at Christmas time, me and my cousin would be like, can we have a couple of beers? And they'd be like, sure, kids. We'd be like, ha. You know, like I don't know. I remember turning like when I was about 17 maybe, and my grandfather told me to come up and sit in the dining room at the card table, and he was like he was basically like here, have a shot. And I was like, okay. You know, I was like, well, I got a shot. And I had been drinking beer here for like a couple of years, you know. Like, oh, wow. So I took a shot, you know. But so Crown Royal, I guess you're supposed to sip it, you know what I mean? And
You drunk it?
yeah, oh yeah. I was like this because I've been drinking Suicide since I was probably about 12 years old. You know what Suicide is? A Suicide is this. Your family has fucking a liquor cabinet, liquor bar, whatever. You take a little bit out of each bottle. There's 30 bottles of different kinds of liquors. You gotta have all kinds of liquor, you know, just in case somebody comes over, they want some kind of weird fucking drink. You gotta have every kind of liquor. Well, over the course of time, you know, you take a little bit out of each bottle and you drink a Suicide. You just basically fill up a glass with liquor. So really, I probably started drinking like 6 shots in a gulp at like age 12. And not constantly all the time, it didn't start out, but you know, the first time I drank that shit, I was with my friend Mike, and we were going to school in Terrasset, in elementary school, 6th grade. At recess, he goes, "Hey, want to go to my house and take some shots?" I was like, "What?" And we go to his house, like 5 minutes away, and he poured a bottle from each bottle. He goes, "This is a suicide," or whatever. I think something like that. But we went to his house and drank liquor, right? And then he put it in a Pepsi bottle. We carried it with us and drank it the rest of the way. So we get back. Recess is over. We're like, "What are we gonna do?" And we go like this. We go, let's go to the water fountain over there in the music room, right? Go to the water fountain near the music room, get some water. They'll catch us, and we'll say, "Oh, sorry, we got hot and like we got lost in the woods," or made some stupid story up, you know. They should have questioned us. And when they'll find us, we'll send us back to class. Be all right. Well, how do you not smell liquor on 2 little 12-year-olds' breath who were just missing for 45 minutes to an hour? You understand what I'm saying? Like, how do you smell unless you're an alcoholic yourself, which a lot of teachers are, honestly, or they are when they're young. I don't know, but like, you smell liquor.
Or you see the kids are on something.
Well, we just each drank like 3 shots of liquor each, or 4. He filled up a little Pepsi bottle and we drank it. I never drank before, like, as far as I recall. But anyways, so my grandfather had a shot. We're sitting at the card table Christmas Eve. Probably, so I was 17, I said. So that would be Christmas Eve, 1989. Right down there, right? Okay, so like, I'm put at the card table. So we're at the card table. He goes like this. He goes, "Cheers, everybody, Merry Christmas." You know, Merry Christmas. I'm like, "Cool, what's up?" And I took my shot. He goes, "You don't drink that shit like that." I go, "Huh?" And everybody else had just gone, deep, take a little sip, you know. I was like, "Oh, my bad." He goes, "Here, come here." And he poured me another one. He's like, "All right, just sip it." I'm like, okay, Pap. Yes, sir. And so, yeah. So yeah, that's where I took my first shot, was right down there at Crown Royal. I used to drink Crown Royal regularly, but not like get trashed. But I basically kept Crown Royal at my house and drank a shot a day. Because he told me it was medicine. You know, people said it was medicine. A shot of liquor a day.
How you were cute.
No, as an adult. I mean, like, just a few years ago, like 10 years ago. No, it's not necessary, though. You don't need it. But you could. There's some medicinal value. But anyway, so that place is great. And my Pap is the one who I used to observe when I come up here and hang out with him. And he would pray, reading his Bible. And I think that's where I got started talking about this stuff being up here. Because, I can kind of see him right now at his kitchen table, you know, in my mind's eye right now. I can see my grandma in there now, too. And actually, Christmas time, that my aunt and uncle had a dog named Pumpkin that would come. They would come from New England. And me and my cousins were all crazy, man. Like, fun getting stuffed animals. And, like, I got a Billy Joel Nylon Curtain record, great album from my aunt and uncle from Philadelphia. And, like, it was a great place. And, you know, I used to smoke weed down in the basement bathroom when I was in like 7th and 8th grade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You know what my uncle told me about my basement? My grandfather tied him up in the basement. It's actually in my song that I wrote. Because my uncle was so bad. And it was my Uncle Jay. I don't know what he did. He wouldn't tell me this shit, but my grandfather, just like 30 minutes. He's like, "You're such a bad kid, I'm gonna teach you a lesson." He tied that motherfucker up. He had a daughter and 2 brothers to look after. Yeah, because my grandma had to go somewhere, like, unusual, and so he had to watch 3 kids. He didn't know what he was doing. You know, times were a lot different back then. I mean, it's still different today, but motherfuckers back then didn't take care of the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, "Hey, I'm gonna leave the 4 kids with you," because he worked so much. You know, like, he would work nights at the post office when I knew him, and I think before that. So, you know, everybody else does stuff during the day. He slept all day because he had to work at night. You know, and so, like, it was So I guess he freaked out, so he tied my uncle up for a minute so he could get him to calm down. Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, I'll stop recording now. Yeah, I'm so rich that I'd like to be able to say that I own property on all 7 continents, that I'm that rich, but I can't say that. But that's because some of those other folks, they got so much money, they already do that. So what I can say is, I'm so rich that I invented it. I had them put an 8th continent on the map, and now I can say that I own property on all 8 continents. That's right. That's how rich I am. So what they are doing, what these geese are doing is they're swimming against the current. They're swimming upstream. Canadian geese are known all across the east coast of the United States, probably the entire world, I would guess, you know. But migration, okay? Migration is a repetitive cycle in nature that for some reason happens, and we probably cannot understand it as human beings. We don't understand it, I don't think. You know, God will tell us what it is, and we think we know, but geese, we are not a Canadian goose, so we do not know, right? But these Canadian geese here are swimming against the current. See that? That's called a current. It's coming towards me. I'm making sure everybody can see what I'm talking about here, right? So, down the stream, look at these geese. They're swimming against the current. Canadian geese swimming against the current. Imagine that, right? Imagine it. Now, think about what people tell us. Don't do that. Think about what's most known as a very unusual thing in nature, migration. Canadian geese, how long have they been migrating? North-south, north-south, every year. Every year, north-south. What are these guys doing? Ladies and gentlemen, not just guys, guys and gals, gals and guys. Chicas and chicos, hermanos y hermanas, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, grandparents and grandchildren. What are these geese doing? They're swimming against the current. So, nature. When somebody teaches you something that goes against your observations, when they try to teach you something that goes against nature and you accept it, well, guess what? Then maybe, just maybe, you'll never, ever swim against the current. And if you never swim against the current, then things stay how they are currently. And currently, just how I see it, we put up with a lot of shit, you know, a lot of crap as human beings. We accept lies from authorities. We accept lies from experts who change their expert opinion based upon facts simply because of the changing tide. And what that changing tide is, I'll let you decide. But when science changes and the facts get rearranges, and you know, people start saying, come on, man, look on the bright side. Positive vibes only, right? Look, hey, look, it's sunshine. Well, remember this, folks. Somebody hands you a dock full of goose shit. Guess what? I could tell you all day it ain't a dock full of goose shit, couldn't I? But this is all you get right here, is a dock full of goose shit if you never swim against the current. That's what's up.
And so what I'm trying to tell you is this, you know, learn to think, learn to question. And I'm not saying believe it when an authority tells you something that isn't true, that doesn't mix with what you know and observe and what you know. Someone tells you it's not right and it's wrong and it's not true, and you believe them, you're folding. You're folding like a folding table.
Except for the continent will never open again, it'll be broken. Let me tell you something here like this, right?
I'll tell you something here right now, just like this.
That is my advice on how to observe, learn, and reject authorities who tell you lies and expect you to swallow it based upon their authority.
Because they're bought and paid for. And when I say bought and paid for, I'm talking about a whole dock full of goose shit. And that's probably one of the things that punk rock teaches people, to think for yourself. Listen to punk rock music for a few decades, you might get where I'm at. Fall off your skateboard a few times, break a few bones, might get where I'm at. And eat shit for a couple decades from the so-called authorities, and you might get where I'm at, which is on a dock full of goose shit, about to go skateboarding on a beautiful day with a beautiful new hoodie featuring some of my artwork, and I can't find my name on here somewhere. Smash Records.
Alright then. So, if you're dealing with a bunch of shit, it doesn't have to be dog shit or horse shit or bullshit. Just remember, it's a day full of
Duck shit and goose shit. And that's the real shit coming from you live.
From the Allegheny River.